Alright guys, so today we're doing vectors, just to go over a couple things like intro to what a vector is. A vector is just a ray, but it has an ending, it doesn't keep on going, so it's like basically part of a ray, or you could think of a line segment. So say this is my vector. Actually, let's do a little bit different. Let's have my vector go to here. Okay, so say this is my vector, and this is the terminal point. So you have an initial point, in our case 0, 0, terminal point, which would be 4, 2. Okay. And the way you denote the vector is you're just subtracting the x coordinate with the x coordinate. So it's like x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. So in our case, we'll have 4 minus 2, no, my bad, 4 minus 0, and 2 minus 0. So in this easy one, it's just 4, 2 would be your vector. Alright, so vectors give you direction, so it's moving 4 units to the right and 2 units up, if you want to think of it that way. It also gives you distance. So distance is pretty nice in the sense that you could see we make a right triangle right here, and you could actually find this distance, let's call it z, right, that we're talking about, because we know the x and we know the y, and here you have x squared plus y squared equals z squared. You have that Pythagorean theorem for a right triangle. So in our situation, we have the x to be 2 and the y to be 4. So you could actually solve for the distance. 2 squared plus 4 squared equals z squared. So 4 plus 16 equals z squared, or 20. So we get square root of 20 is z. Now, this is called magnitude, and that'll come up shortly. I'll be putting up new assignments on Khan Academy shortly. Okay, so magnitude is very simple. If you have your vector as a, b, for example, what we had over here was 4, 2, and you could see here was 4, 4 and 2 were plugged in. You're really just doing magnitude is denoted by these double absolute value, and you're just doing square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay. Just to go over equivalent vectors, because it doesn't always start at the origin. It could be moved around different places. So let's say we have a vector that starts here, and let's have it end here. Okay, and then let's get another vector that starts here but ends there. Okay, so you can see the difference in these two. Now the main thing is when you're trying to find what the vector is, you're really just doing your terminal point minus your initial point. So again, always remember when you're trying to find the components of the vector, it's always terminal initial point. So what do I mean by that? So let's look at the orange one. So this has a initial point of 1, 3, and it has a terminal point of 4, 1. So if I want to know the vector, so we'll call this vector A. If I want to know what is vector A, as far as the components go, I'm going terminal point. So 4, the x component, minus 1, comma, 1 minus 3. So in this one, I got 3, negative 2. And that should make sense because 3 to the right, or 3 units. Three units right, and 2 units down. If we're doing the black one, let's call it B. So B would equal, now our initial point was 1, 1. Oh, don't do that. 1, 1. Terminal point was negative 2, negative 1. So we would have negative 2 minus 1, comma, negative 1 minus 1. And then that would give us negative 3, negative 2. And it should look like that. It's moving 3 units left and 2 units down. So you can see even by the look that they are not equal, but they would be equal if their components were the same. But in this situation, you could see that they are not equal. So if they did have the same values as their components, then they would be equal. So this is a little intro to vectors. Hopefully this helps for the Khan Academy that you're working on today. Email me if you need some help, okay? But hopefully this works out all right. And the videos from Khan Academy also